I'm 81 years old. For a long time, my Sundays had a specific sound. The sound of silence. I would sit by the window, looking at the driveway, checking my phone every 10 minutes to see if I had missed a call or a text from my children. I had the dinner ready, the stories prepared, and a heart full of expectations. But the car never turned into the driveway. The phone stayed dark. And for a few years, that silence broke me. It made me feel invisible, like a book that had already been read and put away on a dusty shelf. But then, something shifted. I realized that at 81, I didn't have another 20 years to spend waiting. So I did the unthinkable. I stopped waiting. I stopped calling first. I stopped making them the center of my universe. And that is when my life truly began. You see, we are taught that our success as parents is measured by how much our children want to be around us when we are old. We feel a deep sense of shame when they don't visit. We hide it from our friends. We make excuses for them. Oh, they are so busy with work, or the grandkids have soccer practice. But deep down, it hurts. It feels like a rejection of everything we sacrificed for them. I spent decades building a world around my children, only to find myself standing outside of theirs. If you are feeling this right now, if you are sitting in that same silence, I want you to listen very closely to what I'm about to say. This is the hard truth that nobody tells you in the retirement brochures. The moment I stopped waiting was the moment I reclaimed my soul. I had to face the brutal reality. My children are living the lives I raised them to live. Independent, busy, and focused on their own horizons. By sitting and waiting, I was making my happiness their responsibility. And frankly, that's a burden no child wants to carry. It creates a dynamic of guilt, and guilt is the enemy of love. When I realized this, I felt a strange sense of relief. I wasn't a victim of their neglect. I was a prisoner of my own expectations. So I opened the cell door. I started by changing my Sundays. Instead of cooking a meal for people who might not show up, I started taking myself out. I went to that bistro downtown I always thought was too expensive. I started spending the money I had spent a lifetime saving. We are often told to leave a legacy, to save every penny for the next generation. But at 81, I realized my greatest legacy is my own vibrance. Why was I saving for their inheritance while I was starving for life? I started traveling. Small trips at first, then longer ones. I joined a hiking group for seniors. I met people who didn't know me as dad or grandpa, but as a man with a sharp wit and a love for history. The irony is profound. When I stopped waiting for them, when I stopped being the lonely parent on the other end of the line, something changed in our relationship. They noticed the shift. When they did call, I wasn't always available. I had stories of my own that didn't involve them. I became a person again, not just a relic of their childhood. I realized that detachment isn't about lack of love. It's about the ultimate form of self-respect. You cannot force someone to value your time if you don't value it yourself. In America today, we have an epidemic of loneliness among the elderly. But I've come to believe that much of it stems from a refusal to let go of a role that no longer exists. We are no longer the providers. We are no longer the managers of their lives. We are the elders. And an elder's job is to embody wisdom and peace, not neediness. When you stop waiting, you stop being a burden in your own mind. You start looking at the sunset for its beauty, not because it marks the end of another day alone. I want to talk to you about the social detachment that society fears. They call it isolation. I call it sanctuary. At 81, I have learned that being alone is not the same as being lonely. Being alone is a luxury. It's the first time in my life I don't have to compromise. I eat what I want, I sleep when I want, and I think what I want. I stopped looking for validation in the eyes of my offspring and started looking for it in the mirror. And what I saw was a survivor. A man who had navigated 81 years of storms and was still standing. If your children haven't called, if they haven't visited, I want you to do something today. I want you to stop the wait. Take that money you were going to spend on their Christmas gifts or that just-in-case fund and spend it on a hobby you gave up 40 years ago. Go buy that camera. Sign up for that painting class. Book that cruise. Do not wait for them to give you permission to enjoy the final act of your life. There is a hard truth we must face. The relationship between parents and adult children is a bridge. Sometimes that bridge is under construction. Sometimes it's closed for repairs. But you cannot spend your life sitting in the middle of the bridge waiting for the other side to open. You have to be okay on your side of the river. You have to build a garden there. You have to make your side so beautiful that you don't even care if anyone crosses over. My life changed forever because I accepted that my children's absence wasn't a reflection of my worth. It was just a season of their lives. And by accepting that, I gave myself a new season. I stopped being the left-behind father and became the moving forward man. I am 81 years old, and for the first time in my life, I am not waiting for anyone to make me happy. I am the architect of my own joy. Think about the legacy of your energy. Do you want your children to remember you as the person who was always disappointed? Or do you want them to remember you as the one who lived with such fire that they had to run to keep up with you? Detachment is the greatest gift you can give your children, and the greatest freedom you can give yourself. It breaks the cycle of guilt and replaces it with a new kind of connection, one based on mutual respect between adults, not the lingering dependency of the past. If you found a bit of strength in these words, perhaps we should walk this path together. I don't post these videos for fame. I post them because we, the elders, need a voice that understands. You are welcome to join our small circle here. Just subscribe if you feel this is a conversation worth continuing. It's a quiet way of saying we are still here, and we are still vibrant. So, if the house is quiet today, don't mourn it. Listen to it. It's the sound of your freedom. It's the sound of a life that is finally, fully yours. Put on your coat, walk out that door, and go find the world that is waiting for you. Because the world doesn't stop at 80. It just gets more exclusive. And you, my friend, have a front row seat. Don't waste it waiting for someone who is too busy to notice the show. I hope this message reaches the person who needs it most today. I hope it gives you the strength to put down the phone and pick up your life. We are the generation that built this world. We shouldn't be afraid to live in it on our own terms. Thank you for listening to an old man's perspective. If this resonated with you, perhaps it's time for you to stop waiting too. Your life is happening right now, in this very moment. Don't let it pass you by while you're staring at the driveway. Take a breath, smile at the silence, and then go do something for yourself. Because at 81 or whatever age you are, you have earned the right to be your own priority. That is the secret they don't want you to know. Happiness is not a visitor. It's a resident. It lives inside you, and it's been waiting for you to come home to yourself all along. But before you go and start your new chapter today, I want to hear from you. Have you felt that silence on a Sunday too? Or perhaps you've already found your way out of the waiting room and started living for yourself again? Share your story in the comments. Your words might be the exact spark another soul needs to stop waiting and start breathing again. I'll be reading